She could have literally given me her liver, and it could have literally saved my life. The way that I have an adverse reaction to drama, I would have not invited her to the house.
You couldn't be with me and have another bitch liver. I would be like, take it out your body.
No.
Take it out your body now. Hey, my loves, welcome on back to our channel. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I'm here today and every day with my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner.
Hey.
And we are back on the Conner's couch, okay? So welcome on in. Have a seat. If you're new here, we do ask you to sign up. No, I'm kidding. If you're new here, do us a favor. Subscribe to this Mannequin channel, okay? Let us know if you're new. We love to know who is coming out and hanging out with us or whatever the case may be. And today, we are talking to Never Ever Mets. This episode was so goddamn good. Me and Joe said last night, when we watched it on Friday night, oh, we're going to have to film this tomorrow. It was very, very, very good. And I think that's primarily because these people are real, genuine people. And I think that's kind of why I like Ready to Love this season as well, because it doesn't feel like we're getting a lot of influencers or anything like that.
Yeah, because this is not really the show or the network for that type of thing, and I do think that those type of people do ruin the genuineness of the episodes. This is what we was talking about when we was talking about another show, and we said you don't need to like add a bunch of extra production in for drama and effects and ratings when you just take regular people, put them together,
exactly,
and allow life to just life.
It'll
be far more entertaining than you getting a bunch of wannabe influencers who are all texting each other to figure out how they can, produce themselves.
Exactly. I completely agree. And it's been very fun to watch. But before we deep dive in, let's just talk about where we are in our journey. If you're new here, we're pregnant. This is our first, and I am eating nonstop. It is the most fascinating thing to me. All I think about is food. Like when my mouth does not have food in it, I'm thinking about the food I'm going to put in my mouth. Like it is really fascinating. And I'm trying not to be that person because I feel like my first, and maybe even my second, the beginning and middle of the second trimester, I feel like I wasn't like eating a lot. And now all I can think about is food. Like we went to Cassie Beach. I woke up, but I wanted Cassie Beach. So I made him drive down to the strip. What did you think of Cassie Beach today?
I mean, they good every time. They just, it's one of them like overpriced brunch spots.
Was it overpriced?
Yeah, always.
Oh.
But they do
like I paid.
But they do a good job. Yeah, they do.
How are you feeling on your pregnancy journey? You're having a different kind of journey than I am. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling ready. I think I'm like ready to get to the due date. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I be seeing people with their babies and I'm just like, oh my God, it's going to be a baby.
I know.
You know what I mean? We do have things to do. Today we tried out a stroller, a travel system. I'm going to put that on my registry. So when I send out the invites to y'all for the baby shower, then y'all know what y'all need to get us. Right. Okay. So let's jump on into the Never Ever Mets. Really did a big one with this. The drama is top notch.
It's crazy. But it's crazy in a way that it is not produced. Nothing about it feels like a bunch of actors and wannabe, influencers trying to get a Metro PCS ad. Everybody's just living their life. And even the extra commentary just feels like real. It's like we watching, a bunch of people in a real world house back in the day before people was getting brand deals to be on, TV shows.
Which also, BET, bring back Real World. Do it our way. Do it with the blacks.
How about that? Why not?
You know what I mean? I would love to see that. This was a episode 4 full of drama.
100%.
Kiki and Brandon didn't give us much of anything today, which I appreciated, okay, because we needed a break, and so did they. Cinco and Jay. So I like Cinco and Jay, right? And to me, they are the most normal couple. But do you feel like they insert themselves in other people's stuff a lot?
I think they do, but I think it's partly because they themselves don't really have a lot going on in the house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of, to our point about not having to overproduce, might do a little bit of underproducing. All of the action and the fireworks that we've been seeing, that's just from people having their own drama coming into the house with it.
Wait a minute, Joe. Is this the non-alcoholic gin?
Yeah. That's what I said.
It tastes wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What'd you think? I said.
I got nervous for a second. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I said that's the joint.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
They might do a little bit of underproducing because all of the stuff that's happening is really just people bringing in their own baggage into the house. But outside of like a couple games that they played with Taronda or whatever, they ain't really got a lot to do here. There's not a lot of counseling going on. There's not a lot. All the games and stuff they come up with, that's why they're horrible games. You know what I mean? They really just filming all these mugs in the house like it is the real world back in the day. We being honest about it. So I think that's why I was thinking on Jay, really, they just out here. That's why Chris is commentating on everybody, thing too, because what the hell else they got to do?
I guess, but I do feel like they're kind of in it. Like, I guess the biggest thing to talk about today is Tatiana and Clavasier. Clavasier's best friend and Tatiana's mom are coming to the house, okay?
Which makes this plan, I already said that this plan was dumb to wait for the best friend to come to the house to tell her about the baby, but it makes the plan even dumber. Asinine, answer 10, 11, stupider, all of the things. Because now we have the knowledge that Clavasier had the knowledge that Tatiana's mom was also going to be in the house.
Yes.
What part about this scenario made you think, you know what, is going to make this go over real smooth? I'm going to tell her when my female best friend comes while she's with her mom.
I don't think that was the plan. Let's take a step back. The night before, Cinco, Jay, and Clavasier are up. Jay lets us know that he was talking too much, and he told them that the best friend was coming, and the best friend was a girl. So they're like, oh, okay. He immediately tells them that the best friend is a porn star. Weird. Jay says, why did anybody need to know her profession? Like, what does it matter, right? And I completely agree. Let's stop there. From a male perspective, why would he say that she was a porn star?
I can't make sense of anything that Clavasier does. I don't know why he would invite her there. I don't know why he would lead with porn star.
That was weird as hell to me.
He would wait for the mom to be there to do it. I don't know why he would tell other people in the house all of these other things that Tatiana doesn't know. That's only making stuff worse too.
This young woman is can we say porn star? I don't even know.
Yeah, no.
This young woman is.
That's her profession.
That's her profession. He explains that to them. Jay, rightfully so, was like, that's weird. So have you ever been intimate with this young woman? Which is also a very good question. But when I say y'all don't be having real, if you know what I mean, male
people
best friends.
People were already saying this. Yes, I do.
Everybody wanted to be in my comments with the silly shit, right? But the truth of the matter is, this man is watching this young woman's porn. How much best friend could he be? You would not say that your friend is a porn star if you weren't watching it. We have actor friends, and we watch their stuff.
Here's the thing. Clay's immaturity shines at various points while he's on camera. Sometimes I have a hard time figuring out whether Clay is having a moment of being aloof or having a moment of being, self-centered, or having a moment of just being immature. Like, I think it was Jay who clocked it and said something like that. Like, she was like, I like Clay, but Clay's immature. Like, she said something like, Clay has a lot of growing up to do. I completely agree with her sentiment. And it was interesting because we kind of said something like that last week, and then Jay basically confirmed it. We've obviously never met Clay.
Right.
But Jay confirmed it. She was like, I think he's a nice guy, but he has a lot of growing up to do, and this is a part of it. Like,
and I think it's small town. I think
100%.
I think it's small town energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she is the superstar in a town.
That's probably a thing.
I'm being dead ass.
I think that could be a thing too.
You know what I mean? Like, she got out, even if it's on her knees. She did it. You know what I mean? And I'm not, do what you got to do, girl. I just feel like it just is a weird thing to say. So it moves on to the young lady come in. Who opens the door? Was it Cinco?
I want to say it was Cinco.
Cinco
Immediately, let me tell y'all, this was the episode straight out of The Office, straight out of Abbott Elementary, because everybody's breaking the third wall, staring into the camera.
Yeah,
I feel like Cinco or Chris, one of them opened the door and immediately gave the camera a look like.
Yes.
Like immediately.
No, it was Chris, our producer. Chris opened the door and he immediately was like, hey, you know what I mean? First of all,
they knew bombs was about to go off.
They knew bombs over Baghdad.
But that's the maturity thing too, because all the mature men in the house knew this is about to be a shit show.
But you want to know why? Because they know that female friendship is like mucky yucky.
Because they are the mature men in the house.
They know.
You can't not have gone through this life and think that your porn star best friend, who is a woman, is going to go over well with your new woman who has no knowledge of this woman. You can't think that unless you are mentally 18.
He might be slow. And I mean that with all due respect, you know what I mean? To the community. I'm just saying. He might have a disability, because then she comes in and jumps into this man's arms.
100%.
Oh my God, I miss you.
That was later when he was outside.
Twice. She said it once when she jumped into his arms, like, I miss you so much. And then went to wrap her leg.
That was the pinnacle of the night. It was the leg wrap. It was the leg wrap, which we knew it was coming because we saw it in the previews. But then to see it happen in real time, and also to see everybody's face, because they all confirmed. If we weren't sure what we saw, everybody confirmed it. They was like,
I do think they added too much sauce. Do you think they added too much sauce?
I think they, in the moment, this is what I mean by there's no actors and wannabe influencers on this, because I think in the moment, everybody gave their true and honest reaction.
Okay. And I think they have the knowledge that Tatiana doesn't.
Yes.
That he also has a baby.
Yes.
So it's too much. He's doing too much.
And in their mind, they're like, oh my God, what is happening?
Yes. I am completely outdone with this moment. And it's primarily because I probably would have crashed out with the same tenacity as Tatiana. But I don't know if I would have came at her too much as I would have came at, like, him. You know what I mean? Like, because this is weird, because you could have held her with one of these. Like, hey, like, you could have gave her a side hug or something. It didn't have to be. It feels disrespectful. You know what I mean? And you would have to think that, because I'm even thinking of Tatiana running up to a man and attempting to put her leg around him. And that's her friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nobody ever thinks about things the other way, I feel like.
I feel like my problem is I can't wrap my mind around even inviting this girl to the house. I would have never done it. And that could have been, she could have bought my mama a house when we was broken ashy and living in the car, the whole thing. She could have literally given me her liver. And it could have literally saved my life. The way that I have an adverse reaction to drama, I would have not invited her to the house. I just couldn't. I can't even get.
You couldn't be with me and have another bitch liver. I would be like, take it out your body.
No.
Take it out your body now. Wait a minute. We only got one liver though, don't we?
Yes.
The point I'm trying to make is that it could never happen. What you giving him a liver for, bitch? Why are you worried about him living?
I can't get past him inviting her to the house.
I think it's so odd, and it feels It does feel to me like he playing in her face. Like it feels to me like he wants to keep giving her.
The problem is I don't feel that way. I think this man is literally aloof. Nothing about him gives savvy fuckboy to me. And I know some of them. I think he thought I'm really going to smooth it over. Like I'm gonna have them meet, and I think it was a legitimate idea that he didn't think was dumb.
But that wasn't the way. Either way, let's say y'all best friends. Y'all couldn't be that much of a best friend, and you're meeting somebody that he is interested in, and that's how you approach him. Because if you actually cared about him, you would care about his relationships, and you wouldn't even put him in a position to have to defend himself like that. Like, you know what I mean? You would want everything to be above board. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but women are territorial in that way.
And that's why I don't do bitches. Listen, women are territorial. I think that the whole situation, though, is like I can't. Like, I really cannot even wrap my mind around it, because in real time, we would have had a problem. I pick and choose my battles a lot, though, I feel like
Tatiana was choosing to be tame here, because I saw her leave. Like, the girl walked in the house, they hugged. She introduced herself. She didn't shake the girl hand or anything like that, but she just like dipped around the corner. And I remember in that moment, me and Zara was like, did she just leave? Like she dipped or whatever. So that to me was her being like, I'm not even going to do this right now until everybody came in the house. Now that part I thought was messy and putting too much, because that part did feel a little bit of
showman, like
I am going to stoke this flames a little bit, because Tatiana never saw the hug,
and that's what I felt.
And as a friend, especially while the girl was there, I'm not going to come to you and tell you, did you see the bitch just jump?
I'm not doing it. And because one, I don't think the problem is with her, and you're missing an opportunity to actually see the dynamics of their relationship.
Right.
Because I think she could have got more information. Like, I'm a knowledge is power queen.
Right.
I'm going to watch you the whole time.
And talk to you. She never even got
a chance to talk. I'm going to ask all the questions.
She never even got a chance to talk to the Jones.
Right. And I think you miss an opportunity to actually see what it is. The problem is that deep down, Tatiana knows he's lying.
And that's what caused the blow up that happened. Was really, I think that was what was really behind it.
Yeah,
because it wasn't really about a hug that she didn't see. Because Tatiana kind of went for her to not having even been there, she went from 0 to 200, really, because there's a lot of BS built up that's operating in the shadows that Tatiana can't really she don't have any proof that he's lying yet, but she knows he's lying about something.
Yes.
And I think that was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
But the problem is she don't have the patience to let shit unfold. And that's where I struggle with her, because it's like, babe, just let him. He'll do it. Like, you know what I mean? If you talk to a mother jumper long enough, they're going to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? It just might be all wrapped up in the lie, but it's some truth in there, and you just got to really listen out for it. And I don't think that I think she could have really, what's the word I want to, built her case. I think she could have really built her case. So, I don't know, y'all. How do y'all feel about the whole hug and the contact? And I don't know. I really don't like Clay. I don't like men with hips and booty and lisps. You know what I mean? I like to see my men's chins and shit like that. Like, that's the type of bitch I am. Like, I don't know. Something about Clay really does bother me. And you said that you don't think he's a calculated F-boy. I don't think that negates the fact that he's an F-boy. He is here for games. I think that just because, like, I would like to believe it's good intentioned, but it's too many ill things happening that I would have to believe that you are an active participant in this. Like, I can't just give you, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to infantilize you or any of those things. Like, you know what I mean? You young, you this, no. You a grown man. He's been deployed. He got PTSD. This motherfucker know what he doing. He knows. He just got a draw, like a little, he got a little, long. So we think he's slow. That was me doing his accent. Whilst they are arguing, Okay. Tatiana comes out, tells the girl, don't be putting your hands on my man. Don't be jumping on my man. Too much. Too much. You got to watch him, man, y'all. Y'all got to watch him. Because you got to see these mother jumpers in the wild. You know what I mean? What will they be okay with? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like she didn't do enough watching. Because I'd have been looking out the door like this.
Yeah, I don't believe she could have, like, because she had everybody in her ear. She
physically could not.
Yeah, I don't think she could have. She had a lot of people in her ear, so she's now in real time trying to piece together what happened because she didn't see it. And I think that just added more fuel to the fire.
I think it added more fuel to the fire. Why your titties need to touch my man titties is beyond me. That's what kind of hug is that? You got to press your titties up against my man and all that stuff like that. I'm with her. What is all this? Like, you know what I mean? So Clavasier turns and then he just blurts it out. I need you to know I got a baby that's 3 months.
She didn't even give a
Tatiana didn't even give a damn about the baby.
I do believe after we talked about it yesterday that she probably knew about this baby.
She knew about the baby. I'm going to tell you two things. I believe Tatiana is an FBI agent. I believe she knew about the best friend. She knew exactly who she was because I wouldn't immediately meet a woman and be rude. Even if it is if somebody who is your, female friend or whatever the case may be. I think that was a lot. Like, I thought her walking away, I was like, well, what'd you do that for?
I think she walked away because she was a woman and I think she didn't think that she was going to be a woman. My God's honest truth is, I think Tatiana was shocked in the moment. You know how they was talking to the therapist, and the therapist said, the Clavasier, like, yeah, you have a little bit of like, like a freeze type of reaction to things.
Yes.
I think that was a little bit of what Tatiana was going through. I don't think she knew. I think there's a lot of things. Part of Clay's issue is he omits a lot. And I think he might have talked about the best friend, but I think he omitted that the best friend was a woman. Because Tatiana looked shocked to me. To me, she looked shocked.
I still wouldn't have been. I could have been shocked and not been rude. I mean, I didn't understand the shock and rudeness.
I think she was pissed that she was a woman. I think that would be a lot of people's reaction who
you
didn't
think?
know. Yeah.
What do y'all think? Busty, let us know. Would your reaction be? I see. I could be fake though. Would your reaction be to be rude in the moment, like if you meet them and you are unaware that they are the opposite sex? Is that your first reaction?
Because also I think Tatiana is operating on fumes from things that they have yet to talk about.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so I think that was added
and
to it
this
too.
bitch got more knowledge.
Right.
That will burn me up.
And I think that was part of what built up to her even walking away and then coming back and turning up, because it had to be something else, because like you said, she didn't know the girl.
Yeah.
She didn't see the hug. Like it had to be to me, it's like the vegan thing. She didn't snap because he was vegan. She just snapped because she's tired of this boy lying.
She tired of the lies, shit. It's weighing her down. He tells her he has a baby. Tatiana doesn't even acknowledge the baby. She
said, F them kids, but tell that B, don't you ever jump on my man again.
The weirdest thing to me is how she just
blew right past it.
Which said to me that she knew.
She had to know something.
She had to know.
She had to know something.
Which also adds evidence to her being an FBI agent, because she was doing deep. She feels to me like she has more knowledge than what she's letting on. And she's waiting. Like sometimes back in the day, I used to know what was going on, but I'd be asking questions anyway because I want to see your face when you lie to me. So I would be like just asking the questions I knew the answer to.
She don't get it to me. Like she's not. I think she knows what. I think she doesn't know what she doesn't know, but she knows that there's information.
She knows she got
missing.
A feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So she gets the ball heat mad, don't want to deal with him. She's egging him in front of everybody, doing all these weird things and everything like that, which I thought was too much. Because if you going to still talk to the dude, don't do that.
Right. Either talk to the dude. Yeah, that's the one place that, like, Clavasier had a point. It's like, if you're going to deal with this and still be with this man, then be with the man. Talk to the man. Tell him, you know what I mean? Cuss him out. Do what you got to do or whatever. But the whole like, no, I want to play chess, but don't touch my hand. Like, what are we doing?
It's just silly. It's just silly. And I too thought that was just like, okay, what is happening here? I felt like the conversation, she makes Clavasier call the girl and tell the girl that she...
Yo, this was too much. I almost had to leave my house.
Why did you think it was too much?
It was making my skin crawl, the awkwardness of it. It was like watching a child get reprimanded, but the child is actually a grown adult man. I don't want to be in the room. They in the room looking like...
They are all in
Why is everybody in the room for the phone call?
So I couldn't tell if they were in the kitchen.
They were in the kitchen, Zar. They was in the kitchen. And then it felt like as the call progressed, more people came in the kitchen like...
I agree.
Yo, but this is what I mean. There's not enough structure going on in the house. Every day they wake up and...
They just left to their own
devices. Then they like, well, let's play Never Have I Ever. Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
Like everybody should be in a different, like, you should be in therapy. You should be doing this.
Today,
I agree.
Y'all have an outing. Y'all go. Also, why is everything happening in the house? We got to do a meet and greet. They do a meet and greet of Family and Friends Day on Married at First Sight, but they go to a restaurant or they go to a bar. Or
everybody's going somewhere different.
Everybody's going somewhere different. Everybody's meeting in the living room.
Yes.
Come on, y'all. I get it. Y'all spent money on this house. It was the whole budget or whatever. But take these people outside.
It had to be the whole budget.
It had to be the whole budget.
But it couldn't have been the whole budget and we sleeping in the rooms together.
And not going nowhere.
She has this conversation with this young woman. She asked Clay to tell the woman that she was wrong for that. Like, be respectful of my person. And, you know what I mean? Like, we can move on or whatever the case may be. Clay didn't have 2 words to rub together, child.
Clay was doing the mannequin challenge. He just holding the phone like...
That's funny.
The whole time. I don't think he moved. The phone didn't move. His hand didn't move. His head didn't move.
But she also asked... And I had a problem with that because the only person who should be protecting Tatiana is Clay.
Right.
And if she says... I know a lot of people who are going through something very similar to this where their spouse is not protecting them. Like, if I say something makes me uncomfortable, isn't that just it?
Should be.
You know what I mean? And I feel like people are trying to litigate what makes you comfortable. Like, all Tatiana had to say was like, I didn't like that. It made me uncomfortable. Him and the young woman, if that's his real best friend, would be like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I could be better about that. He hasn't been with somebody in a very long time, so I apologize. You know what I mean? Whatever. But you could have just apologized and moved on. Now, was Tatiana throwing sauce on it? Yes.
Yeah.
Would it been hard to get to that place? Yes.
Call her, say fuck you to her face. And then
she was doing a lot. Let's be for real, okay?
Call her a funky dog head on the phone.
That's exactly.
FaceTime her right now. Call her a funky dog head.
But the problem is that you do want a man who's just going to be like, listen, we cool. We always going to be cool. But I have to set up certain boundaries just to take care of my home. You know what I mean? And when men don't do that, you do start to look at them funny.
Tatiana should have been started looking at him funny.
I mean, she has a ton of reasons why she should be looking at him funny.
Yeah, the phone call was the least of her worries.
I agree. And what also makes me sad and nervous is that it's very clear to me that she likes this young man and she was willing to keep going with him.
1,000%. They in therapy. The therapist asked her, where you at on a scale of 1 to 10? She says a 2. Lie. You can't be a 2. And this man is running amok on you with a baby on the side with his best porn star friend. And you still here sitting in therapy with him. Yes, mind you, you just met him. So y'all really don't even have equity there. You know what I mean? It would be different if you were, you know, Alicia and Urban or Carly and Jared who have been dating for multiple years online, whatever kind of sense that makes. But even still, like for them to be able to say like, I've known this person for years, you know what I mean? You don't even have that. When you don't have equity there, it's real easy for me to just bounce. Like, okay, you acting a fool, I'm out. I've only known you for an hour.
Right. But we just be wanting a piece of me. Her mother's there. And this is what I took issue with. Her mom is there. Obviously, she's upset. She gets upset around her mom. And she wasn't even going to introduce to me. And the mom was like, well, let me meet him or whatever the case may be. And she introduces him and said, well, I would like to talk to my mother alone. They talk or whatever the case may be. And I feel like the mom was a bit disappointed in what is happening with her daughter right now. You know what I mean?
The mom walked in the middle of Rome burning. I would have probably had to walk out and say, maybe we need to do this another day.
Or let's go out to lunch.
Let's go back to the Marriott and we can have a conversation there, because I would have walked in and all of that would have been happening. I don't know that I could have just been sitting there on the couch. You know what I mean? Having a conversation over some Moscato, because that's definitely what they was drinking. I just don't see. I can't see it. You know what I mean? It was like supercharged energy. The girl is running around outside. Like she immediately walks in and she starts crying. I would have been like, what's happening?
It would have been Smoking the City about mine. And I 100% agree with that. Like, I feel like the mom got worked up too. And that kind of made me sad for her. It kind of made me like, that would have been enough for you to be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of this. But you do have to kind of like learn those lessons on your own. Like somebody can't teach you that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know.
I mean, kudos to what I'm going to say for Tatiana is at this point in the story, kudos to her for being level-headed and being true to herself, right? A lot of times people are too often influenced by outside opinions. If you want to stay with your man, I don't give a damn what your man is doing. Stay with your man.
Period.
Make the decisions based off of what, because you're the only one that got to live with him.
Period.
You're the only one that got to go back outside when you're not with him. You got to go back outside and ruffle through the garbage to find another one in these trash ass single streets.
Yes.
Right? So only you have to deal with that. It's real fun and games when everybody's sitting up in your face at brunch like, F that. Go ahead and you can do this. Everybody done did it before. I'm single. That's all fun and games. But then when you have to sit in the silence and deal with it, it's a different story.
Yes.
So I appreciated Tatiana for being like, I want to see it through. I want to go to counseling, all the things. I thought that was real big, mature of her, especially in today's age where I feel like we know somebody who's, being influenced by social media. You know what I mean? It's they telling their social media following, I'm not going to go back to him. They don't even know these mother jumpers. You know what I mean? So I just thought that.
I feel like what Tatiana did post their conversation with the therapist, though, I feel like you could be mad, right? And I feel like, and this might be my evolved self, right? So I'm speaking for my higher self, y'all. The way she is holding him hostage, she's not going to get the information that she needs.
100%.
And I'm a knowledge, like I said, I keep telling y'all, knowledge is power. Sometimes you got to curtail your feelings just a little bit to get the information that you need to get to the crux of the situation. You know what I mean? And sometimes that means talking to a motherfucker when you don't feel like talking to him. Sometimes that means allowing somebody to rush, touch your shoulder, touch your arm, whatever the case may be, because he's manipulative. We already know that. So we trying to get to the real nitty gritty of things, and you might have to get a little dirty with it too. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. My thing is, Clavasier is
that's a name.
He's playing white bread. When I say that, I don't believe that. I don't believe he's a shrewd operator. You know what I mean? I think he does things that he thinks is going to go over well in his mind, as dumb as they sound when he speaks them outside, right? Inversely, for example, Jared is manipulative. Jared is a shrewd operator.
Jared is
calculated. Jared knows exactly what he's
calculated.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what I mean by when I say, like,
let me tell you
that's just what I mean when I say, like, I don't think Clavasier knows what he's doing at all. I think Jared knows precisely what he's doing.
So let me say this. I absolutely believe they are cut from the same cloth. And I'm going to tell you why. Tatiana was not going to sleep with Clavasier. He had to do a lot of things to kind of nurture her to get her into a place where she felt comfortable enough to sleep with him. And he knew that. And that's why he was doing all the love bombing, the flowers, the this, the that, the whatever, right? Because he knew he was trying to get closer to that. So then when he dropped his truth bombs, she wouldn't be as mad. That's manipulative.
Yeah, but that's
manipulative.
That's 1 + 1 = 2. Like, there's no shrewdness about, you know what I mean? I'm surprised that Tatiana didn't,
when he
you know what I mean?
told her that he had a baby on the same day that she's mad about something else. We've had this conversation in therapy. You would get mad at one thing, and then in the conversation, I would bring up something else, right? And then that was your way of saying, you're manipulating me by doing that, by saying, oh, Neil, you got a problem, I got a problem too, right? And that's what he did.
No, right. I'm agreeing. We're not disagreeing. I'm saying that the things that he's doing is just on a very basic level.
It feels basic to you, whereas Jared's is more covert, which makes it feel more insidious.
Yeah.
So to you, it's like, oh, because it's in plain sight. But I think that's the play. I think Clavasier knows, one, he's a big guy, right? So he plays into this like, I'm a gentle giant. I would never want to hurt you. I don't want to see you sad, right? He plays into that because that's the persona that he wants to put out. But he is also wildly manipulative.
He's just not smart. I don't want to call him. You
think,
understand what I'm saying? He's not Jared.
Manipulation to be.
Because it does take a certain amount of intelligence to be, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? To be manipulative, to be a shrewd operator, to be, you know what I mean? To do all these things. Like, it takes a certain amount of intelligence. And sometimes people are just throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks. And even though sometimes these two things can get the same results, it's not always the same method. Jared and Clavasier are probably going to end up with the same results, but they are not going to get there the same way.
I was scrolling today on Instagram, just doing my thing, and I see on OMFG reality TV this young lady, Melody Renee, or Melody Rain. I don't know.
We don't know. We don't even know if this person is real, but go ahead.
We don't know if this person is real. That's a very valid point. Okay, this is the DM. Hi, Tatiana. I know you don't know who I am, and you're probably wondering why I'm messaging you. But I wanted to tell you that you're not alone. Clay is not the person he says he is, and he's not a good person. What I'm about to tell you is not to try to make you jealous or mad or to our drama. This is what she wrote, y'all. I'm just reading it. But just to tell you that I really relate to how you're feeling. Last month, I gave birth to Clay's daughter. It's not the one that he kept from you. It's a separate one. During my entire pregnancy, he was absent and didn't even want to acknowledge that I was pregnant. He still to stay, I'm assuming that he still to this day doesn't want to be there to support his daughter. I also didn't know about his other daughter, Moon. Moon is the daughter's name. When I confronted him about it, he tried to tell me that he wasn't trying to hide it from me. He just didn't know how to tell me. So he was lying to me the entire time too. And I eventually totally cut him off. But all to say is, if you want to talk more in detail, I'm totally willing to. Now, the reason why I brought that up, Joe, is because his reason for not telling Tatiana is the same reason that allegedly he did not tell this young woman.
I have a hard time giving breath to stuff like this. We talked about this when we watched Love is Blind, because everybody want their 15 minutes of fame, and whenever somebody end up on air, everybody got a story to tell. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I don't even know if this person is real. Do Clavasier know that he is the daddy? Why is he not claiming the baby? What's the story behind that? Is it a paternity test thing involved? Like,
But why are you trying to free him of these allegations?
I'm not trying to free him of anything. These are questions that I have. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Like, what's the reason? You get what I mean?
Melody Rain is Tatiana. That must be her stage name. Somebody DM'd her. She put it out, which to me means even more.
It don't mean anything to me. For you to send somebody that you know that this is going to come to light at some point. You know what I mean? Because you don't even know this person.
You don't even know.
You and Tatiana aren't friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't even know this person. I don't give a damn what's going on. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm not messing with this man no more. You only do that because you see her on TV. And you know that people are watching her. Yeah. There would be no other reason to reach out to this person. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just like, because then we get down a rabbit hole, because I guarantee you it's 2 more people on TikTok saying, he my baby daddy too. You know what I mean? Everybody got a story. I don't know. You know what I mean?
But
Also,
who's to say he not?
Who's to say he's not? Who's to say he is? That's my point, though. We can go down this rabbit hole for another 10 people.
I'm just trying to add evidentiary support from one half of that relationship.
Said, he's put enough stupidity on tape for us we have enough. You know what I mean? We don't need a secret story from a secret lover that.
Oh, I didn't need it. I'm gonna be clear.
That's all I'm saying.
We had a conversation, and a lot of you guys last week said that you felt like he wasn't a good guy because of all the things that he's doing. And I would have to agree, whether or not, like, you know what I mean? Like, murder and manslaughter are two different things, but there was still some kind of casualty there, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, intent matters, but at the point in which you have committed, just to take it all the way there, manslaughter twice, it's starting to look like this is something you like to do. Like, you like to lie, you like the drama, and you like to be the guy who kind of like throws stones and hides his hands.
Yeah, I think Clavasier is a criminal. I just think he a dumb criminal.
Yes.
And I think a lot of his flubs are flubs because he's not smart and he's not good at this. Where in the same breath, Jared is not having the same problems because Jared is good at this.
Jared knew day one he was going.
He knew day one exactly what he wanted, exactly how to get it. And that's the calculated manipulator of the group.
Jared said so this is the thing. Let's get into Jared. We're going to come back to Tatiana and Clavasier, but I want to get into Jared and Charlie because at the end of this episode, Jared said politely into the camera, the honeymoon's phase is wearing off.
Literally. Because I said it's off.
Kiki came up to Charlie and said, y'all better not be leaving. Everybody leaving. Y'all better not be leaving next. And he looked right into the camera and said, the honeymoon phase is wearing off. He's got to get back to his real bitch. He got to get back to his babies. He said, I am done with this.
He said, I'm leaving.
I am leaving. I am bored and I'm ready to go.
Period.
And I need to tell this half of my true intentions so I can get up on out of here. Okay? How do you feel about that?
I feel like this is the calculated, cold, manipulator, gaslighter, killer that people think Clavasier is. I think that Jared, the reason why Jared and Charlie not having these knockdown, drag out spouts is because Jared is not dumb.
He ain't dumb at all.
He's not dumb at all. Every move that he made was intentional. Thought out, and I think that he's going to press the eject button on this relationship when he's ready to. And until then, he's just going to do what serves him. He in the house hosting like Chris part of the time.
Oh, yes.
Because he was running around this episode too. Like, you know what I mean? Getting his host comments in and stuff like that. And I think Charlie deserves it. 100%.
So that's what I wanted to come back to. Evil twin me, evil twin.
You this the bed that you made, sis.
It's high key. This is the bed that you made. Now, I can't remember if this was a clip for the next episode or if this happened on this episode, but he said something about he was once married before. He was married for 3 years.
And he said being a good man and a good husband is exhausting.
And what do you say to that?
I would disagree. I think it's only exhausting if you're doing it for the wrong person. It's like when somebody said to me a long time ago, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And of course, everything is a bit tongue-in-cheek, right? Everything involves work. It doesn't matter what you do. You could be an NBA player. You could be a golfer. It doesn't matter. You have to work at whatever it is to be good at it. But there is so much truth to that. I found there's so much truth to that because a lot of the things that keep me going and allow me to push through when I'm tired and exhausted. We were talking about the week we had last week. You know what I mean? A lot of it was strenuous and draining and all these other things. But I can wake up and do it again all over again tomorrow and the next day because I love it. I genuinely love what I do. All the things that I'm doing right now, I'm really passionate about, and I love them. I love the people that I work with. And so there's something to that, right? Just like relationship. Relationship is work, right? And you have to work at it for it to be good. But just like in the workspace, because I love my person and she makes it rewarding and the fruits of that labor feel so good to me, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? It's not hard for me to get up and think about the things that I need to do to show up for my wife and to show up for my household and to keep her going and to keep us going and to keep us happy. There's a part of it that is just so rewarding that it doesn't feel draining and exhausting to me. And I think that if you do feel that way, it's because you're doing it for the wrong person.
Yes. And I think, yes. The problem is, I think nowadays, so many men haven't even gotten to that thought process. They don't think that their picker is wrong. They just think they're not supposed to be in relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they would rather blame
the institution of marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Than who they chose to pour into.
Right. Right. Because I don't feel like, oh, I got a ball and chain. You know what I mean? I got to pull up to the house and sit in the garage for 20 minutes.
We know people who have.
No, seriously, this is not a joke. You know what I mean? And those people feel that way because of the partner that they're with. Full stop. And I think that if we being honest about it, that goes back to what I was saying last week about you being responsible for your choices. You know what I mean? Nobody, unless you was in an arranged marriage, nobody picked these people for you.
Right.
Or force you to stay in these positions or force you to stay in this relationship for so long that you feel like, you know what, I just want to sit in the car outside my house for an extra 30 minutes before I go in and deal with this woman.
People do that. Yo.
That's not even a joke. Yo.
That's not even a joke. But so let me set this up for y'all, because this really happened. And I'm a Virgo, so I'll be asking all the questions. We're at a dinner specifically for couples. Mm-hmm. And one of the couples, he had like this high, I guess it was like a high job. She was a stay-at-home mom. And they have 3 kids or 4 kids. And I think she was the one who said he would come home and sit in the garage. And she was like, I understand. He would just come home, sit in the garage for a bit before he needs to decompress before he comes in the house. And I was like, what? I said, and what are you doing? So you're just in the house with 4 children?
Yeah.
And all he had to do was drive his ass home from work?
But some of these mugs can't wait to go to work. We spoke to somebody else who said they can't wait to go to work just so they could get a break from their situation. You know what I mean? This is real life. Like
so we got to talk about this, because this really do bother me. It bothers me for 2 reasons. Women allow this shit. You know what I mean? That's number one. And the way, imagine for 10 months, your body is just going through all these changes because you are growing a human another mother jumper put inside you. You know what I mean? I didn't even have this joint really got fertilized because you wanted to put something up in me. And then for 10 months, I can't indulge in the things that I want to indulge in. I can't eat the things I want to eat. I can't wear the clothes I want to wear. I can't get up and go the way that I want to get up and go. I can't even travel the way that I want to travel. I can't do all these things. And when I push this mother jumper out, you tired? That's quite literally frightening. And me and Joe talk about this all the time because we funny. I am very, is controlling the word I want to use? Like when I think about how I'll be with my baby, I do think I'll be very controlling about it. Like, don't touch her, don't do this, don't do that. Because that's just kind of like when I'm serious about something, that's how I can be. But me and Joe joke all the time. I'm like, I'm a morning person. You're a night person. We're going to put the baby on your side of the bed. You know what I mean? Like, let me get my full sleep because I'm going to be the one with a baby attached to her for only God knows how long. You know what I mean? Because then you got to come out and you got to feed this baby. And this baby want to feed every 3 hours. And you the one with breasts. You know what I mean? And then you as a man will have the nerve to say, you're tired? It's really insensitive. And it kind of breaks my heart. Because it's like more women need to just leave their kids with their men.
But this goes back to the situation, right? Like you can be tired. Just like I said, you can love your job and your job still wear you out, right? You can love your kid and being a parent is hard. We get the whole thing, right? But for both parents.
Yes.
I get that, right? The problem here is you're tired and need a break because of the person that you're with. You know what I mean? My brother who has passed on, was a dad, single dad. Loved his son. He never needed a break from his son.
Right.
He was a single father.
But that's what I'm saying.
But this is my point. Like, this is directly tethered to the person that you're with.
You think?
I know.
I don't know. I feel like people are.
I've had these conversations before. Some directly and very bluntly have put it out on the table. Some not so much. These are things that are directly tied to the person you're with. A lot of us is going through the same thing. The only difference is I don't feel like I need to sit outside because I like my person. I like my wife.
Okay.
A lot of us, it's nothing new under the sun. A lot of us is going through the same, we having the same argument, going through the same thing. The only difference is I like my spouse. So I want to come in the house and work through it because I want my best friend back. I don't want to keep beefing, and you know what I mean? It has so much to do with this. I've been there. I've been the person who wanted to pull up to the house and stay outside. That was with a different woman though.
You've literally
1,000%. 1,000%. I've slept in my car because I did not want to sleep in the house because I was with a terrorist. You understand what I'm saying? It was directly related to the person that I was with. And we got to start having these uncomfortable conversations and just being real about that. You know what I mean? Because I know plenty of fathers who love being fathers, love their kids, the whole thing. They also love their wife. And they love the person that they're parenting with. And so it's the same thing as every job is going to be work. But when you really when you love what you do, you don't feel like you got to sit outside the office or you got to leave the office to go outside to decompress in the car so you can go back in the office and deal with these mother jumpers. That's two different, you know what I mean?
You know what? So I do think it's part of that, Joe. And I think the other part of it is that, and I don't want this to be like a male bashing thing. I think men lack empathy. I think you're a very emotionally intelligent human. And I think that you see what I go through. And this could be to your point, right? Because you like me so much, you're more empathetic to how I'm feeling about things. How do I feel in my day to day? Did you eat? Did you do this? Did you take your medicine? I think men lack empathy. And I think that I don't think it's something that happened yesterday. I don't think it's a social media thing. I think since the dawn of time, the patriarchy has literally created this thing where women are just supposed to be vessels for humans and we lack humanity. And the truth of the matter is nobody would have noticed except for the fact that women got jobs. So now we're contributing. We have to work. We have to go grocery shopping. We have to do the dishes. We have to cook. We have to do that and have a baby on our butt.
I think there are plenty happily married couples that's raising children together out here today.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm saying that.
No, I'm saying that there's a population of people who are not empathetic.
And I think that that's true. And I think specifically in the realm that we're talking about of love, relationship, and marriage, it has everything to do with their spouse. The problem is so many people want to talk around it. Like I said, I'm speaking from a place of experience. I've literally been the guy who put up to the house who didn't want to go in. And as long as I've been with my wife, I've never wanted to do that.
Yeah.
This is directly correlated to the person that you're with. The same way that we talk about doing certain things and being in a certain place. You know what I mean? When you worked at WB before they got wild, you loved your job. You worked countless hours.
That's true.
That's because you loved the job you were in. You loved the people you work with.
I still love y'all.
You see what I'm saying? It's directly correlated to that relationship. It's not even really the thing itself.
Yeah.
And we got to be honest about it.
That's a very good point.
We just have to be honest about it.
Okay.
A lot of y'all don't like your spouse. We have to be, we can't talk around it anymore.
But
that's just the truth of it.
Don't you think that aids to like utilizing people? That is where I'm kind of going. I think we're kind of saying the same thing a little bit. Because you don't like this person, you are not empathetic to their plight.
But that's a blanket statement that covers everything and everybody. We do that with little kids. You know what I mean? Teachers, I've done it. If you have favorites, I used to teach lessons and when I did group classes, I would have my favorites like everybody else. And when my favorite over there cried, I was completely empathetic. What you want to do? I got you. You ain't even got to do this no more. We can move on to the. But then when this one cried and this one was an ugly mother jumper, and I mean ugly spiritually, a demon child, I couldn't be empathetic because I already can't. I can't vibe with you.
Yeah.
I don't like how you act. You don't listen.
But then
you don't treat the
why-
other kids right. It has to do with relationship.
So then why do you think, and this is also going back to Jared, why pick people because the truth of the matter is Jared is intentionally picking people he know that is either unavailable or he's unavailable to them. Does that make sense? Like he's picking people.
It's low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
Because like he said, he's jaded. He was in a relationship. He was married. And he felt exhausted in doing life with this person.
Because truthfully, he ain't shit.
He felt exhausted in doing life with this person. So now he's overcorrecting. We see a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? Especially as they get older. You know what I mean? When we see those May-December relationships, a lot of it is born from, I had to show up in my relationship and when I was really an active participant, and now I'm exhausted because I really didn't like that mother jumper. So I'm going to go date this 19-year-old. We see men and women do it.
The problem is that Jared is my kind of guy. Because although he's manipulative,
he's charismatic.
And he's a little bit honest. Like he gave her what she was giving him.
That's why I said she deserves it. That's why I said I don't feel bad.
He only giving you like, bro, you couldn't have thought I was going to take you seriously. And you showed up here with a big old ass, some titties full of milk, and 3 new children.
I'm keeping the same energy. We perfect for each other.
We perfect for each other. But now I'm going to show you how I really am. Because it ain't no sense in me being a nice guy to you.
Right.
And although that is mean, y'all, that is me. No, I have literally told people to their face, like, I have done some foul stuff in my day. Okay? And I will literally look a man in his face and be like, if you're not my man, explain to me why I need to tell you the truth like you my man. I'm going to treat you like you're not my man. So now that you're not my man, you know how I'm moving. I know how you're moving. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Nobody ever wants to leave. So it's like, in real life, that's how you got to get with people though sometimes. And I mean, I have done some foul things that I am not proud of, I have. But I also treat people how they want to be treated. I'm not treating you how I would want to be treated. I'm a queen. You want to be the scum of the earth. You want to be a whore. I'm going to treat you like a whore. And that's only the energy I'm giving you. That's the only energy I'm giving you. And I feel like that's Jared.
It is.
And that's why I kind of like it.
I don't ever.
You got to keep giving people go ahead. You want to, because I genuinely believe he would have felt bad. I genuinely believe he probably would have felt bad if he knew he was the only one with a baby.
Oh, I believe it too.
But because y'all went to high school together, he knew you had a baby.
He knew. And he was giving you the same energy. And because I'm
giving you the same
energy. Keep the same energy, I can't be mad at
He
it.
said, I'm going to take you down. You cute or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But Poom Poom ain't nothing but meat on the bone.
You going to get me on the show? You know what I mean? And he's just here for the vibe.
Now, he need a Metro PCS commercial.
No, he don't.
I love Jared.
I don't want to reward that.
I don't want to reward
because
it.
that's more cynical to me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I am cynical in that
more
regard.
cynical
that
to
is,
me.
That
like,
is.
I can understand that two methods of piss poor actions can get the same results, but when you actually intended to slice somebody's throat rather than it being manslaughter or that
Yes.
to me is worse.
Yes. But you know what, Joe? It is worse. But the problem is that the platinum rule is to treat people how they want to be treated. I can't show up and treat you like the Queen of Sheba.
Well, his black queen.
His black Wakandan queen. I can't do that. And you out here running amok with dude. You're clocked. Now you're clocked. Because now you're going to have to explain what's the relationship with the baby daddy. You're going to explain this. Nobody has talked about any of these things.
No, because why? He don't care.
Because he don't care. But she's so slow.
You thought you was going to hide 3 babies on this man, tell him, and then he was just going to be like, okay, cool. You would have had to, if y'all been dating for 4.5 years, If it's a lie, y'all told it, because that's what it say on the sign.
Precisely.
4.5 years. If you've been dating for 4.5 years and you just had a baby a month before you got on the show, you was effing this dude while we were together. No, you were cheating on me, actively cheating on me. No.
Yes.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
That's number one. And number two, we went to high school together. You're under the impression somebody from this high school
Right.
didn't say something just like in passing or whatever. Like, oh, you still working with Charlie?
Right.
Didn't she just have a baby? Yeah. Like, come on, stop playing. But the point I'm trying to make is y'all not going to see me. Am I caping for Jared? No, but yes. He get to be whoever he want to be, even though I think he's insidious. And deplorable. He's standing on business about it, and we can respect that. But we got to talk about Britney and Ty. Britney does not like Ty.
Full stop. I don't know that there's much more to the story.
Well, what was the whole thing? She always touching the other guys, though.
That's because she doesn't like Ty. So that's just the proof that's in the pudding, right? It's fascinating to see how people act in other spaces when they are being flirtatious and social and all of these other things, right? We knew that Madison, this is going for the Married at First Sight crowd. We knew that Madison genuinely did not like Alan because we saw Madison around David.
Yes.
And we were like,
oh, she like him.
We've never seen her smile so much.
Yes.
We've never seen her laugh so much. We've never seen her do the hair flip and the hand on it. I didn't know she had it in her.
Yeah, he funny, but he ain't that funny.
Right. We love you, David.
No, we do. We really
until
do.
she got around somebody else. And I think the same thing is happening with Britney. Britney is friendly with everybody else, man, in the house.
I know, but he seems...
She don't like him. She doesn't like him.
So he takes her on a date to his house and does a crab boil.
Why? You cook for her at the house, at the Airbnb.
Well, he wasn't cooking enough to get crabs for everybody else. He said, y'all going to have to put your $20 in.
I just don't... Why? You cook every night at the house for everybody and Britney. Why are we leaving for you to just go cook again? Maybe in his mind, he thought this is now going to be an intimate Netflix and chill type night. But you had to know Britney wasn't even giving those vibes. You know what I mean?
I think that's what...
She don't even want to kiss you in the mouth.
At all. That, which also takes me back to you liking the brother.
Oh, my God. Right. I forgot about the brother.
It takes me back...
How that even happen? You met the brother and then the brother introduced you to Ty?
Yes.
It gives I'm going to sit on the sideline.
It gives that. Because she was touching the brother. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah. And was laughing and kiki.
Yeah,
I never seen her laugh like that.
What's so funny?
She does not like him. And I don't care what y'all say. Britney also has a problem with other people in the house. And if it's a lie, they told it. Somebody was in the comments like defending Britney. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Britney turned up in the kitchen. I don't know what show you were watching, whoever that was. But she literally went from 0 to 10 in the kitchen when I think it was Clavasier or somebody just said like, Clavasier. I just want some space or whatever.
Yeah, can y'all just leave the kitchen?
Oh, you remember when I was in here? Like it was extra. It was extra by any metric. It was extra. And we've seen her have run-ins with other people in the house. So no, she's not as bad as Alicia, but she's definitely on the same time. She
is not here for what we think she's here for.
She's not.
Poor Ty.
But
also, can I say something that's really elitist? Why is this grown man living in a studio apartment?
Because he live in L.A. and they all are. If we being out, we used to live there. We saw them. They in the studios with roommates. So
I just feel like it's just giving living in L.A. is my identity. And I'll be 40 years old living in a studio apartment.
I ain't going to. It's more of them that's doing it than that's not.
Which
we know that
I want to say I get it. But I don't, y'all.
We know somebody right now.
I really don't. I'm not going to lie.
We know somebody right now with big 40-something with a roommate and no car. And it's working, like actively working.
I know somebody like that.
Yes, you know them too.
I don't know who he's talking about, but that's what I'm saying.
Because it's normal. It's normal. Like,
I might have put them out my brain.
It's common, but it's very common out there.
But I've lived in metropolitan cities. So I think that's why I'm saying this. Like... And it wasn't like a loft, a studio loft apartment.
It's not going to be.
It was an actual studio. This is not funny.
I'm just not surprised. Like
I'm a bit surprised.
It's common. We know a bunch of people that's doing that right now. It might not be. We know a bunch of them. My sister got 2 grown adults in her studio right now that she rents out.
But I thought I thought they was students though.
They're 2 grown adults that live in. They are sharing a studio. Are they not? It's a room.
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's the same thing.
You're right.
They're 2 grown adults that are roommates in a studio apartment.
As big as our little studio down here, I guess.
Barely. Not. It's not. This is bigger.
If you're going to take me to your house, right? And I mean this with all due respect. It got to look like some. Like, it can't be like...
But not today, does it? Because she's seen that house on FaceTime before.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
He ain't even think about that.
That's a good point. But I also feel like you couldn't have thought I want to go out.
That's what I didn't understand. That's what I didn't
You couldn't have thought I wanted. You could have took me to
every day. Y'all
what's
do
the
this every
boil
day
place
at the
we went to?
Airbnb.
Hot and Juicy.
You could. I mean, yeah. I didn't get it. But what I'm learning is it wouldn't have mattered because Britney doesn't like Ty.
It don't matter because Britney does not like Ty. Y'all heard the man? She all touching on other men and all that stuff like that.
And the girl like, is there anything Ty could do that Britney like? No, there's nothing I could do. I would never touch him with a 10-foot
She
pole.
literally said, I would
What are we
never go
doing?
into the boom boom room with him.
I'm not. It's nothing he could do. I'm not doing nothing with him. She like Jared, except she ain't trying to get nothing but airtime.
But how is he any different? And I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. That bothers me because I like Ty.
He
Ain't my cup of tea, but he don't gotta be.
It bothers me because you're just leading
him
on just to be leading him on.
Yes.
Like for
and
what?
they got the nerve to have demands like, oh, you ain't doing this for me, you ain't doing that for me. Like, girl,
right?
What?
That's the diabolical part.
Yeah.
Because now you had all these standards and all these things that you wanted him to do, and you really wasn't into this guy
in the first place. Talk about somebody who's not into the person that they're with. Let's talk about Chris and Alexis.
Chris is the MVP of the show.
Chris,
I don't care what y'all say, what nobody say.
Okay.
He is carrying the show on his back. I know his shoulders hurt.
And the truth is, he's the undercurrent. He's the foundation of the show.
And the comedic relief.
He's hilarious. His friend shows up and
his cousin,
and Dr. Mayan or whatever her name is shows up for Alexis, right? And I didn't mean to say whatever her name is. She's a doctor, so we'll call her doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor now, but she said she's a doctor. She could be Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But what I'm getting at is they show up and they chat. Alexis chats with her friend about how, this has been the hardest she's had to work to get a young man to like her. Why did you roll your eyes?
But she doing the same thing. This is what we was talking about, right? Alexis was in a relationship with somebody her age. You can't get me. It's not up for debate. Where she was an active participant, but she had to have her wig more straighter. She had to come up with a certain, swag. She had to show up a certain way for that also 50-year-old man that she was with. And she couldn't do that because that was, to Jared's point, it was exhausting because she really didn't like him that much. So it was exhausting. So she had to go get her a young buck who she felt like she could manipulate. And now it's too hard because Chris is Southern, but he's not dumb.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so it's the manipulation.
And he's still a man. So he's still got a little bit of you going to talk to me a certain way. We're going, you know what I mean? You can't be trying to push me or manage me and everything like that. So, and she does lack a bit of finesse, which
100%.
She has made up for. So shout out to Alexis because it seems like she heard what he said. She's getting softer. Mm-hmm. And he talks to his cousin and they said, the cousin immediately asked him, did she look like that when she was online? And that really bothered me.
And he said, what you mean, a little tired? A little mature? Let me tell you, the one thing that I love about my country Southern folk is that they might not be that quick, but they will get with you real quick. Okay? They can cut you to the teeth. They can throw them jabs right back at you. All of them.
Did he call this woman tired?
He called her a little tired.
That bothered me so bad. But not bother me like, Chris, why would you say that? It bothered me like, Alexis, we got to do some zhuzhing. Because Alexis is not a bad looking woman. Alexis is just not doing the best things to enhance her beauty. You know what I mean? And I think even at 45 or whatever she is, she could zhush
100%.
and still look like that joint. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, but she can do better.
I mean, I
Zara
think
be putting too much salt. And I appreciate y'all in the comments who was like,
I'll be doing
don't
too
ever
much.
compare your wig to her wig. Zara does this thing where she
My
like,
wig look like her wig, y'all.
never, ever. We wouldn't be together. I'm too picky. She just told y'all. That's how you know the proof is in the pudding. Like, she does this thing where she try to bring herself down to certain people's levels, and she goes too far down. Where you be like, all right, sis, like
it's fake.
yes. Like, girl, no. Like, oh, and she just be told, you let her do it. She just, because we went through that too. And I'm saying like, no.
Oh, Joe hates when I do that.
I hate it because I have a level to my go along, get along. I can go along, get along, and play along and be social and you too, brother. I can do all of that, but then I get to a point where I can't fake it, and I'm like, all right, okay, no, we're not doing this.
Oh, because I'll be
Me
like,
and you
yes,
are not. Yeah.
we went through that as
Yeah.
well. And Joe be like, we did not go through that. We are
Yeah, I
not the
can't.
same.
It's a level to it.
Stop telling people stuff like that.
Yeah,
he does get
I
annoyed
break the
with
third
that.
wall real quick.
He really will.
Okay, cut. Can't do it no more.
She's lying.
She's lying. She's going too far. I can't do it.
But not she's lying.
Oh, our wig be the same wig. People in the comments like, girl, what? No.
That y'all understand what it was sitting up on my head, and I just did not feel like it. That's what I was
That
getting
don't look
at.
like a mop that just got ripped out the closet. Bro.
And she keep wetting it, and I wonder. And I'm about to. My mom do the same thing. My mom loved to wet her hair, bro.
It don't never look like Alexis' hair though. Never.
When she sits down and talks to Alexis, sits down and talks to Chris's cousin, and she says, "Well, what can I do to kind of bring him around?"
He said, "Shut your mouth." They are straight shooters.
What? Shut your mouth?
He said, "It's your mouth."
He said, "It's your mouth."
And when I saw the clip before they did like a preview, I guess going to break at one point, and when I saw it, I thought that it was her cousin. I thought that's your people's. You know, sometimes we can get our peoples together like that. No,
it wasn't.
He don't know
his
this woman from a
people.
can of paint, but told her, "Oh, yeah, it's your mouth, 100%." So once you do that, then y'all should be fine.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that Chris would come around if she wasn't so
Yes.
abrasive?
Yes. Something about Chris, and I'm rolling my eyes because of Alexis' aesthetic, and with that, I do believe that if this woman talk, because he's a Southern, I know.
If he didn't feel that way, he would just be like, "No."
Yeah, I think he would. If she did, if she fixed her mouth, I do think he would be totally happy, and we would be totally confused. Like,
But then Chris proceeds to tell her friend that he want her to be a little bit more fit. This is so not, I don't. It's wildly unserious to me.
but he said not too fit. She can go. You know, I just want to be a little more fit, and she ain't got to go too fast. She can go slow. I said, what? Chris is the MVP, and I'm gonna tell you this: when they do the reunion, don't bring Taronda, whatever her name is, back. And if you don't get Kevin from Married at First Sight, you have to let Chris host the reunion. Just let him do it, okay?
I'm outdone. I'm completely outdone. You want her to lose weight?
He want her to be more fit.
He want her to be more fit. You would sit in front of somebody and tell somebody that to their face?
Yes. And then they pan to her walking out the door, and I could not see it. I'm like, oh.
She don't look bad.
Okay.
She just don't wear flattering stuff. I don't think that she is a bad looking woman. I think she does not wear things that are flattering to her.
Okay.
What's that about?
Okay.
Okay.
She doing it again. Okay, sure.
No, I'm not. Shut up. The point I'm trying to make is Alexis look like she can fight, and y'all not gonna have me sitting up here saying mean things about her, okay?
Okay.
Because she looked like she would slide me, and I don't want no problems. All right. She kind of reminds me of my mom.
No.
Well, no. My mom is a blonde, and for real, she's a natural blonde at this point. But my mother been blonde for like 30 years.
Right.
But I do feel like it could be just because she light skinned.
Yeah.
Because my mom is fly. Wasn't she cute on Mother's Day with her little jumpsuit?
Yeah, super in the blonde hair.
Clavasier leaves the retreat or whatever the case may be. Essentially, Tatiana leaves as well. But even that was manipulative.
But we talked about this earlier in this video, how Tatiana did give him some credence with that, because they go to therapy. The therapist gives them action, right? And they go to move on with life. And she's going through her motions, you know what I mean? And Clay got tired, you know what I mean? And even the hardest of criminals, they human, so they get worn out, you know what I mean?
But all the men was like, bro, you got to give her time. You was wrong.
Right. No, 100%. She definitely deserved time, but she also
was putting
she was also doing the thing of like, Clay was like, all right, are we going like, are we going to be together? Or are we not going to be together?
Yeah, because you
know
could have
I mean?
answered that question like, we're going to be together, but right now I'm having a hard time.
1,000%. Right. This is another experience moment. I used to be the person who could never move on. Period. Right. So that's why I can identify with Tatiana. And that's why I can also identify with what Clay was saying, because you were Clay. Like, all right, I know I fucked up. I know, but we just came out of a therapy set. Are we going to dinner or not? Because I can't tell you we're going to move on and then you go, don't touch me. We at dinner. We at the goddamn, you know what I mean? I can't do that. You know what I mean? So at some point you do have to be like, are we going to try to move forward?
Yeah.
Are we going to try to have a good day today? Like, that's legitimate.
But you were better at the real tea after doing some therapy, y'all. Joe was actually better at moving on than I was. See, Joe would move on. He just needed time to process. Where I could immediately be like, I'm done dealing with this, so I'm moving on from it. I might bring that shit up 3 years later.
Yeah.
Which means that I really actually
Didn't move on.
right.
Yeah.
I actually didn't move on. You know what I mean? And I do think there's something to allowing somebody the space to kind of process things. But to your point, not in a way that holds the other person hostage. Like, we've acknowledged that there's an issue here. We want to work on the issue, and we're going to do that together. And you can continue to be upset. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can be upset.
Right.
But we're going to work through your upset together.
Right.
And I'm not going to make you feel ostracized because of it. We just got to work. We just got to muddle through this.
Or make every moment weird. Like, because sometimes you just need a win.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because we were talking to, I was talking to a friendly couple of ours about a similar thing where they was going through something, but they was having a hard time, like, just getting the next win. The next win might just be a dinner that doesn't go awry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just look at us. We just sat here and ate steak and talked about the day, and nobody said something snarky and nothing came up from yesteryear. Sometimes you just need that so that you can make it to the next day.
Yeah.
So that you can make it. And the longer you get away from said blow up, the easier it is to just get back to normal and get back to your group. It's hard to do it when you keep tripping over whatever it was the thing.
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, okay.
And it's almost like a dog with a bone. Like, you can't receive any of the good if you holding on to this.
Right.
Like this, like, you know what I mean? Because then you're trying to make it a part of your identity, and it really don't need to be.
Right. And speaking of empathy, you don't want the other party to do that to you when it's your turn to fuck up.
Because you're going to fuck up.
Because you're going to fuck up. And you want them to be like, I'm still pissed.
Yes.
But we're going to go to this carnival and have a good time, and we're going to go get ice cream afterwards, and then we're going to come. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
You want them to give you the same grace.
But she don't owe him shit because he ain't no good. You know what I mean? I'm glad.
I'm surprised she was still there, if we being honest. With all that said, I'm surprised.
Because a pizza man is better than no man to y'all. I don't believe that to be true. I think a man should worship the ground that you walk on, and that should be the only man that you entertain. Or you should you have a whole coven of motherfucking men, okay? Or a harem of men, and they all cater to your needs. I really do believe that. But I, too, was very surprised and a bit disappointed. Like, girl, stand up.
I'm not disappointed because this is the stomach that a lot of times we talk about not allowing somebody to run amok on you, but in the sense of we're going to work through this.
Problem
right?
solving.
Right. Like, okay, let's go to therapy. Let's talk about this. Let's work through this. Because even still in that moment before Clavasier left, Tatiana said, I just need time. That was very mature of her. She's going to be all right. She's going to be with a man.
Yeah, she is. She fine. She cute.
Because that, and not because of any of that, because of the fact that she has the intestinal fortitude to say, you know what? I want to see this through.
But the problem is,
a lot of y'all don't have that. So I'm not going to trash her because the intangibles is something that should be praised. She's going to take this into a relationship with somebody who treats her well, and she's going to thrive because.
But she got to stop calling men out their name.
Yeah, she can't do that. That's a race to the bottom.
It's a race to the bottom, and you can't hold these people hostage the way that she does. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Because all that don't touch me and this and that. Yeah. You can't be doing that with your person. Like, you got to be like, and you could be, I need a moment, whatever the case may be, but you have to communicate those things. Yeah. You can't communicate it to him while he packing the bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to get there
because you done spent all day talking about, don't touch me. I ain't messing with you.
Of course he feels this way. And not even of course he feels this way. He was being immature. And high key Jared called him a bitch. He said he really a bitch for this. This is like really corny as shit.
Right, but the situation is still the same, taking Clavasier out of it. If you interject another man into it, you still can't be like, all right, we gonna be together, but I don't want to talk to you. Don't touch me. Don't do that.
Don't teach me how to play chess.
Yeah,
don't do
like,
this.
You know
don't
what I mean?
That.
Because that's immature. Like, are we playing chess or not? Yeah. If you need a moment, take a moment, but don't do it at the. Are we going to play chess or not? Like, what are we doing? I can't touch you. Well, I might grace your hand when I'm taking your queen away.
Right. Especially if you don't know how to play the game. Like,
what are we doing?
What are we playing? You just move pieces around the board.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't teach me. Okay, sis. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's immature. It just is.
I don't know. This is one of my favorite reality TV shows right now.
It's just real life happening on TV, and that's appreciated. We don't need a whole lot of pomp and circumstance. And they're not giving it. They're not giving them instructions.
No
pomp, no circumstance.
None of that.
No games, no cards, no nothing. Nobody's doing anything.
There was another show on OWN. Bust down if you remember this. There was another show on OWN, and there was a bunch of couples, and the woman leading it, she was the fair skinned woman with the red hair, and it was like they all were in the mansion, and it kind of reminded you of the show on WeTV, Couples. You remember we used to watch it with we watched the season with Waka Flocka and Tammy.
Oh,
yeah.
It was
kind of like
celebrity therapy or whatever.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a couples therapy show. Let me know. Y'all bust down if y'all remember what I'm talking about. On OWN, it had the fair-skinned woman, and she did the show with the Family or Fiance.
Oh.
She did Family or Fiance, and then this was a second show that she was doing. I think we need another one of those. Because that was
the that Kerry Washington portrayed? Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Exactly. Let us know how you're feeling about this episode. We want to know all the things. We talked about quite a bit today. But now me and Joe is getting into bed. We're done. We did the day.
We did it.
Bust down. Subscribe to this Mammy Tam channel. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph. And thank you for chilling on the Connor's couch with us. Bye. Peace.